What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and today Samsung at their event did announce two brand new iPhone 6 Plus competitors. One, the Samsung Galaxy Note 5, and the other, the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. So with this video, my purpose is to give you guys a good idea between the Samsung Galaxy Note 5 and the iPhone 6 Plus, which device is better suited for you. In this video, I'm going to be covering everything from specs to features to unique features to just a general overview of which one would be better suited for you and why. So basically, which one you should buy and which one you shouldn't based on your needs. And now, if you guys want to see the S6 Edge Plus video, I'll have that in the thumbnail right there. This is just for the Galaxy Note 5. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So the Samsung Galaxy Note 5 actually has a brand new design. It's borrowing heavily from the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge and improving on the Note 4, pretty much removing the entire textured back, removable battery, removable micro SD. It's become iPhoneified. So, you're not going to be able to replace any of those, but that's for a good sacrifice. The design is beautiful. It really is very thin. The back edge is curved, it's tapered, so it fits in the palm of your hand very well. And I'll be able to show you those in the final review when I do have them in hand. For now, I'm just going to be going off of the press release and all the specs, basically just give you an idea off of that. Now, something that stood out to me in the press conference is that Samsung actually said that they reduced the footprint of the phone without altering the screen size. The screen is still 5.7 inches, while on the iPhone 6 Plus, it's 5.5. So although the design did shrink of the phone, it's actually a smaller phone than the iPhone 6 Plus, which is what surprised me, although it is a little bit thicker at 7.6 millimeters versus 7.1 of the iPhone 6 Plus. Of course, material is aluminum and glass, which is very similar to the one of the S6 Edge. So it's going to have glass on the back, on the front, which makes it a little bit of a brittle design if you drop it straight on the back. But don't worry, both surfaces are coated with Gorilla Glass 4. On the iPhone 6 Plus, that would be ion strengthened glass, which is not as durable when it comes to shock, but scratch resistance is pretty good. Although I got to give it to the Galaxy Note 5, it's definitely going to be a more durable device with that Gorilla Glass 4. So when it comes to displays, the Samsung Galaxy Note 5 is using a completely different technology. It's an OLED panel. It's actually a Super AMOLED Quad HD display. That's a mouthful. Basically, the pixels produce their own light. On an iPhone, on an IPS LCD display, there's a backlight, and that produces the lighting. So that adds extra layers, it's less efficient, and on the AMOLED display on the Note 5, you're going to see deeper black colors, and it's a more efficient display. That's the type of display where if you put a black wallpaper on it, it'll actually save you energy, and that's pretty cool. And it's not quite as long lasting though. You can last up to 5 years on a Super AMOLED display, and then pixels will start to go out. It's not as long lasting, but then again, it really doesn't matter because most people never keep their phones for over 5 years. If you're planning to buy an iPhone 6 Plus and keep it for over 5 years, the display will last longer, but it's very unlikely in anyone's case that they'll do that. So Super AMOLEDs are also better in sunlight. You're going to be able to see it a little bit better, and the Note 5 has an incredible display. While Samsung really hasn't updated it from the Note 4, it's still a wonderful display. 2560 by 1440p, resulting in 519 pixels per inch. That is just crazy sharp. On the iPhone 6 Plus, it's a 1920 by 1080 with about a 401 pixel per inch ratio. So it's definitely great for both, although the Samsung Galaxy Note 5 takes the cake on this one. And again, I just wanted to mention that the Note 5 has a very thin bezel. Like, it's very, very thin. So that makes it a more comfortable phone to hold. It's not as wide while having a larger display. I thought that was really neat. So it's a smaller phone, but it has a larger display than the iPhone 6 Plus by 0.2 of an inch. Now, the Galaxy Note 5 is incredibly powerful. It actually has a very similar processor to the Galaxy S6 in terms of core structure. So it's an Exynos 7420 8-core chip. Technically, it's only using 4 cores at one time at 1.5 gigahertz, but it has 4 more cores at 2.1 gigahertz for when you really need that power. And that's good to have. It's like cylinder deactivation on a car. The iPhone 6 Plus, it's a little bit embarrassing to say it's a dual-core 64-bit chip. Both of them are 1.4 gigahertz. Although it does perform very well, I've never had an issue with power, needing more power on the 6 Plus. The 6S will address them. And before I get any deeper into this, I just wanted to mention that the iPhone 6 Plus is not a very valid competitor to the Galaxy Note 5. The iPhone 6S is the phone that the Galaxy Note 5 is aimed to compete with. So this is kind of just like a fun video to see how they do compare, but the true competitor is the 6S. But anyway, so processor and power wise, obviously the 6 Plus just isn't there. It's got a measly 1 gigabyte of DDR3 RAM, while the new Note 5 has 4 gigabytes of DDR4 LP DDR4 RAM. So that's super efficient, super fast RAM. The DDR4 is really efficient, so it improves battery life while improving performance as well. And Apple is really behind the game. In the press conference, Samsung actually said 2 gigabytes, 3 gigabytes was just not enough for their consumers. And partly is because Samsung is just not as well optimized. Apple makes do with 1 gigabyte, even though it may not be ideal for everybody. The iPhone 6 Plus does very well with what it has. And the 6S, when it has 2 gigs, it'll do even better. Now here's something I was disappointed with by the Galaxy Note 5, and that's storage. So of course the 6 Plus has a 16, 64, and 128 gigabyte option. However, not only did Samsung remove the micro SD that was removable, they actually removed a 120 gigabyte option. So you can only get a Note 5 in 32 and 64 gigabyte flavors. That might not be enough for power users. And of course, this phone is aimed at executives, bosses, people that really need productivity, multitasking. This thing is going to need to hold a lot of documents, a lot of stuff. Yet Samsung isn't offering a 128 gigabyte option. That's a little bit disappointing. Although on the iPhone, it is disappointing that for the base storage size, you get 16 gigabytes, and that's simply not enough. So that brings me to the cameras. And this is one place where Samsung has really been stepping the game up. They've always been outpacing Apple in terms of numbers, but Apple's been doing good. They're keeping up in terms of quality. So Samsung Galaxy Note 5 borrows a sensor from the Samsung Galaxy S6 and S6 Edge. It's a 16 megapixel ISO cell with an aperture of 1.9. So it is a very capable camera. It actually received a lot of rewards in the Galaxy S6. It'll continue to do good in the Samsung Galaxy Note 5. Now there is one variation with the Galaxy Note 5 version of that camera, and that's video stabilization. So in addition to the optical image stabilization, which by the way, both phones have, the Galaxy Note 5 adds a video stabilization, which further improves the stability of your video. And it looked impressive in the demo from Samsung. Now the iPhone 6 Plus has a sapphire crystal cover for the glass camera, which means crystal clear transmission through it. It's got, a very capable camera. It's very good in low light. It's got very big pixels and very capable in low light. Both phones have phase detection focus pixels, so they're lightning fast when it comes to focus, and both are very capable. However, of course, the Galaxy Note 5 is just, much better than the iPhone 6 Plus in terms of specs. We're gonna wait until we have both phones in hand before I do a full camera comparison. Also, a unique feature to the 6 Plus is True Tone Flash, something the Note 5 doesn't have, and that's a flash unit that's capable of many different shades of flash. So depending on the time of day, how dark it is outside, it'll adjust the flash temperature to make a perfect picture every single time. So if taking pictures in low light conditions is important for you, the iPhone 6 Plus would be the winner there. Front-facing camera on the iPhone 6 Plus is disappointing, 1.2 megapixels with only 720p video, and that's extremely disappointing, although it does have HDR. On the Note 5, it's 5 megapixels, a very wide-angle sensor, and all-around very capable 1080p video, so definitely the selfie king goes to Note 5. Now, in terms of capability of the cameras, the Galaxy Note 5 can do 4K video. That's nothing new. The Note 4 could do that. However, it is nice to have as everyone starts upscaling to 4K video. There's also slow motion video, 240 frames per second at 720p and 1080p at 60 frames per second for both phones. So the iPhone 6 Plus is very capable. It just can't do 4K video just yet. We're gonna have to wait until the 6S to get that. So what's the point of having all those features if your phone dies before you can use them? Well, both phones have very capable batteries. The iPhone 6 Plus has a 2915 mAh battery, while the Note 5 has a shrunk down battery at 3000 mAh. That's 220 mAh less than the Galaxy Note 4. And that's because of course, slimming down, making the device smaller, they had to sacrifice for the battery. But the logic behind that is this new fast wireless charging system from Samsung. Basically, it can charge your battery from empty to full in 120 minutes. It's just 2 hours, and that's quite incredible. So they're making up for that shrunk battery in terms of charging speed, wireless charging convenience, so it's going to be a lot better. But when it comes to battery life, these are pretty evenly matched. However, in terms of real numbers, the iPhone 6 Plus just barely outdoes the Note 5, and these are very early numbers, but they are the specifications from the manufacturers. So both of these phones do have the latest 802.11 AC standard. However, the Note 5 does have the new Bluetooth 4.2. It's a brand new standard. It's a lot better in every single way. The iPhone 6 Plus is lagging behind there. Now, in terms of LTE chips, the Galaxy Note 5 has this new standard Cat9 that's been implemented. It's not even being used by carriers yet. It allows for over 600 megabits download speed, yet it's not even being used anywhere. Basically, they stuck that in the Note 5 to future-proof it in terms of LTE speed. The iPhone 6 Plus is, however, limited to 150 per per second, so it's a little bit behind there as well. Now, if only Samsung thought about future-proofing their software updates instead of, hardware, just keep it up with the software as well, that would be nice, but it's a good future-proofing to have. Now, in terms of NFC and payments, there's Apple Pay, of course, and the new Samsung Pay. It's launching very, very soon. And the incredible thing about it is that it's going to be compatible with every magstripe reader. So it has instant compatibility all over the world, all over the United States. You pretty much take your phone with you. If you forget your wallet at home or in the car, you can pay with your phone nearly everywhere. That is really, really cool. I'm really glad Samsung waited this one out and made their system better. Like they said in the event, it's not about being first, it's about the most compatibility, and they definitely got that one down. So props to you, Samsung, on that. Now, in terms of software, the Samsung Galaxy Note 5 is going to launch with Lollipop 5.1.1. That's the current Android version. The iPhone 6 Plus current is 8.4, then 8.4.1 coming very soon, and then iOS 9 in the future. And there's Android M coming for the Galaxy Note 5. Now, the only problem with the Galaxy Notes and any Samsung in particular is that updates are varied by carrier, by hardware limitations. Sometimes you'll wait, months, even years to get an update that everybody got a long time ago. It's so disappointing how Samsung handles their software updates. On the other hand, iPhones all get the same update at the same time, which ensures that everyone has the best security, best features at the same time. Apple is definitely the clear winner in terms of software here. Now, personal preferences on Android versus iOS, I'm not going to get into that. That's totally up to you, but I'm just talking about software updates. Now, as for security, there's Samsung Knox, and of course, Touch ID has an individual chip. It's hardware protected, so it's impossible to hack it, or near impossible to hack it, to get your fingerprint out of it. Both of these do implement that. The iPhone 6 Plus has activation lock, of course. You can lock your phone remotely. However, the Galaxy Note 5 takes this up a notch. You can actually activate ultra power savings remotely and pretty much keep your device alive longer to give you a better chance of locating it. And of course, it has very similar to activation lock, reactivation lock, just slightly different. So that brings us to price, and I'm going to talk about exclusive features in just a little bit. But as for price, the iPhone 6 Plus is pretty straightforward. It starts at $299, for the 16 gigabyte, it goes up to $499 for the 128 gigabyte, and that is on contract. Off contract, that's $749, $849, and $949. Now, the Galaxy Note 5 is so crazy. The prices, depending on your carrier, anywhere from $720 to $820, $850 for the base 32 gigabyte, and the 64 gigabyte, anywhere from $820 to $920, $950. It's, it depends on your carrier, but roughly around there. As for color, the 6 Plus comes in silver, gold, and space gray, and the Galaxy Note 5, depending on where you're at, you'll get different colors. There was a new color introduced, silver titanium. There's also a black color, a white color, and a gold color. I haven't seen any gold Note 5s here in the USA yet. All right, so I've covered the specs. I just want to talk to you guys about exclusive features and pretty much which phone would be the one for you based on your needs. So, okay, let's get started. I'm going to talk about the Note 5 first. It truly is a unique device, and Samsung really does pave the way for innovation in terms of software. They have so many things that the iPhone 6 Plus does not have. Split screen multitasking in particular on their phones, not their tablets, on their phones. They also have, picture in picture for video. They have a ton of things like eye scrolling, hover with the touch pen that they have. There's so many features that are unique to it that the iPhone 6 Plus does not have. A lot of people consider some of those to be gimmicks, but they truly can enhance your experience. Of course, the Galaxy Note 5 does have that S Pen, which comes out of the body, and it's very useful. It's been updated, it's more balanced, and it's going to be a little bit better. So of course, that's for people that need to take notes, jot things down. It's very useful, and it's a smaller device overall. That's what I like about it. The screen is bigger than the 6 Plus, but it's a smaller device, slightly thicker, slightly heavier, but it is a smaller device overall. I like that it has wireless fast charging, charge from 0 to 100% in 2 hours. That was really cool. It's future-proofed in terms of speed for LTE. They put a chip that isn't even supported yet, and they're going to activate it later for the higher support, and that's really great. There's also Samsung Pay, which is going to be compatible almost everywhere in the USA when it drops in just a couple weeks. It's going to be really amazing. Also, something that not a lot of people talk about, the Galaxy Note 5 has high quality audio support. So it's going to support higher bitrate for audio, especially for Bluetooth streaming. So it's definitely going to have an advantage over the 6 Plus there. And there's also that really cool keyboard case that Samsung decided to reveal with it. So the screen actually adjusts to when you put that case on. I personally don't need it, but I thought it was cool that they did build that for people that want it. Now, as for iPhone 6 Plus, let's talk about the advantages it has. In terms of software, there's not a lot that it has that the Note 5 doesn't. They really, outdid Apple there. There's so many features that it has, but The one place I can recommend the 6 Plus is in terms of stability and optimization. This thing is so well made. It doesn't need crazy specs. It doesn't need 4 gigabytes of RAM because it makes do very well with what it has. Just 1 gigabyte and it powers it very well. It's got great gaming performance, great software performance. This thing is very stable. Rarely do you experience crashes. I mean, they do happen. It is a phone after all, but the iPhone 6 Plus just makes do with what it has. I really like store support. So if I ever have a problem with my iPhone, I'll go in the store and they'll either fix it on the spot for me or replace it. Apple is actually very good with that. And I can speak personally. I've replaced so many phones with Apple that have had issues that weren't my fault. And they just take a look at it like, okay, we're going to go get you a brand new phone right now. And I'm very happy about that. Samsung here in America, I haven't seen Samsung stores. In Europe, they do have them, but here you can't just walk into a store and replace your phone. You got to ship it off. It can be inconvenient if you need to get it fixed. There's also a True Tone flash in the camera, so get a perfect night mode picture every single time. There's also a 128 gigabyte option, something that Samsung Note 5 does not have. And software updates. I already talked about this, but Apple has been so good with software updates. They'll release them to all devices at the same time, making sure that everyone is secured, safe, and has the latest features. And Apple keeps their devices around for longer. The iPhone 4S is going to be in support for 5 years already. That's just unheard of when it comes to Samsung. Samsung drops their devices after a year, 2 years. They stop releasing updates, stop supporting them. I mean, it's just ridiculous. However, people are still using iPhone 5s, even 4Ss. It's really true for Apple that they do keep their devices around longer. And I just wanted to say, lastly, that the iPhone 6 Plus is very simple. It's very easy to use. Everything is just there. I mean, you can pick one up and start using it right away. With the Note 5, there is a larger learning curve. A lot of the features just aren't, easily accessible. You have to dig for them in the settings, and it's just not a device that's so simple to pick up and start using. So which device is more suited for you? Well, the Note 5 is aimed more at business people, people in college, people that are frequently going to be taking notes. It has a new feature actually where if you take the S Pen out and hover it over the screen, it's just going to write notes right away on a black screen. I thought that was really brilliant. It's basically for executives, people that need to carry a device, a professional multimedia device around with them. Now the iPhone 6 Plus, it's for everybody. Everybody can grab one and pick one up. However, it is very hard to hold in one hand when it comes to gripping it. So one-handed use isn't very good on it. So you got to take that into consideration. But it's pretty much for anybody. Anybody, old or young, can pick one up and start using one right away. It's just not as professional as the Note 5, but it certainly is just as capable. So guys, there you go. I've told you guys about the Galaxy Note 5 and the iPhone 6 Plus, all the specs, all the features, individual features. Hopefully with this video, you could get an idea of which device is better suited for you. And I'll be getting these very soon. I'll be doing full reviews, drop tests, everything that you guys need to know about these devices before ordering. So stay tuned for all of that. Thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. This video was not easy to make. Sorry it's so long, by the way, but I wanted to get everything in there. So enjoy your Note 5. If you do choose to pre-order it, pre-order started today, so you can go ahead and get one at your will. Have a great day, guys. Peace.